personally, I have two pairs of NMD R1s, and I've worn them a bit, you know. One of them actually are my kind of beaters. They're all beaten up and used on a very regular basis. And the other pair is a triple black pair of Japan special release versions, so I don't wear them very much at all. But I've got my two pairs of NMD R1s there. Worn them a bit, and I never ever looked down and thought, oh, you know what these need? These need mud guards. I have never done that. I've never looked down and thought that. It's one of the things, you know, I've had this channel for almost a year now, and if you check out the About section, you would be able to see that one of the reasons I got this channel, I've grown this channel, is because I want to learn more about sneakers myself. And mudguards is one of the things that I've learned about sneakers. I'm not a basketball player, but I've realized through the channel and through reviewing sneakers that mudguards are actually quite important when it comes to basketball sneakers, and very important when it comes to Jordan basketball sneakers, because that mashup, that collaboration, that connection between a mudguard and the actual design of the sneaker is one of the signature features, where it wasn't just functional, it actually had a sort of design part to it as well. But that's a basketball sneaker. These are most definitely not basketball sneakers. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and stick a disclaimer on this. Do not wear NMD R1s to play basketball. I think pretty sure you'd ruin your ankles fairly quickly. So that begs the question is why? Why are the Adidas line sticking mudguards on an NMD R1? And that's what we're going to have a look at today. The upcoming release of 4 different colorways of the NMD R1 with mudguards. This is a Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des, mainichi upstream no de, mainichi mite kudasai. And every single day I bring you content from Tokyo, Japan about upcoming sneakers, sneakers, sneaker reviews, and sneaker news. I think, otherwise maybe I've gone a little bit wonky in the brain and I'm getting this all kinds of wrong. Now this week I'm updating things about the butter movement. If you're interested in that, I'm going to put it at the end of the video. I want to keep the sneakers front and center. So butter movement stuff, shoe butter, anything about that, end of the video, you'll find out more about that. But for now, we want to keep the focus on those sneakers there. And like I said at the top of this video, it's the NMD R1s, the Adidas NMD R1s, or are they? That's cryptic. You'll find out why in this video, because I'm not entirely sure if these are R1s or not, to be honest. But anyway, they're labeled as the Adidas NMD R1 mud guards, because the addition they've put on there is a sort of mid-foot mud guard, which I'm not entirely sure of the reason why. I'm wondering if it's just pure design, and you can tell me after watching this video if you agree with me or not. I think it's just pure design. As I said at the top of this video, I have 2 pairs of NMD R1s, and I have never, ever looked down at my feet and thought, these guys need mud guards. That's the missing thing here. They're cool looking sneakers. I think NMD R1s are a fine looking sneaker. And I don't know why they'd stick the mud guards on there. But we'll get into that in a minute. But first, this is a YouTube channel, and yes, you, it would be very, very cool for me if you could subscribe to the channel by clicking any of the buttons down below. There's so many different ways to subscribe to a channel, including that red and white button that you can subscribe to on the channel itself or on this video. But what's even more interesting is this. I wonder how close my hands are to cupping this little bit of Japanese here, if I'm missing the mark. But there should be a little piece of Japanese down here that says Toroku, and if you click on that, a little subscribe window pops up in front of my face, and then you can cover me up for a couple of seconds while you click subscribe to the video. Well, actually the channel, not the video. And as I am here in Tokyo, Japan, I do say at the start of every single one of my videos, Toroku yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Kochira ni toroku, kochira hen, kokora hen, ni toroku toいうバトンがあるので、その登録のバトンをクリックすると登録できますので、ぜひ登録よろしくお願いします。Okay, so NMD R1's mudguards. Now, I'm thinking of a couple of things with these guys, and it only occurred to me, as you know, if you're a regular watcher of my channel, I research the sneakers and find out about them before I sit down. I don't just sit down and sort of go stream of consciousness on this stuff. I'm actually, I've actually thought about it. But one thing I forgot to do when looking at these guys was I forgot about a recent iteration of the NMD R1s where, I hope I can put a picture behind me here. Sometimes I don't get the right pictures, but I hope I've got a picture behind me here, where what they did was, and this was pure design. This wasn't anything to do with functionality or anything like that. It was pure design. But what they did was, in certain places, for example, at the end of the lacing system, around the tag at the back, the branding at the back, and there's somewhere else. I want to say it was on, like on the heel counter or the heel cup sort of area. But anyway, what they did was they just sort of put some, I don't know what you call it now. It wasn't embroidered, just squares. They were just funny squares. They squarified some of the branding and some of the features on the NMD R1. And I'm doing a really terrible job of explaining, so I better have a picture back here that shows you that. And that tanked. That utterly tanked. There was no way in the world anyone was going to buy those things. That's an exaggeration, but it certainly didn't bring the hype back to the NMD line, let's put it that way. And it was a bit of an F, a bit of a fail, a bit of an L, or should I do it this way for the camera? L. The bit of an L for Adidas, if you ask me. And that these mudguards kind of reminds me of that. It's almost like they've got a silhouette that's quite popular and cool. For good reason. It's a very innovative thing to do with a sneaker, sticking those bricks or inserts on there, and people really bought into them and liked them. But they're trying to keep that fresh and keep it updated. So they tried this funny little squarifying of the branding, which didn't work, and now they're trying these mudguards on the side. And they're kind of translucent mudguards on the side. I think there's kind of they sort of triangulate out of the midsole. All the whole length of the lateral side for sure. I'm not sure about the medial side because I haven't seen images of the medial side. But I don't know if they have any functionality at all. I don't know if anybody out there has any reason to want to put a mudguard on an NMD R1, or if it's just for design to add a little bit extra to the side of the sneaker. Now, there may be a reason why they want to add a little bit extra to the side of the sneaker is because they've taken something away. Now, it's hard. I'm just trying to think what the right way to do this is, and I'll just do it like, straight out of my brain into my mouth without really thinking about it. The first thing is they've taken away the quarter line. Now actually, I'm wearing a pair of Ultra Boost uncaged here, and these are the Parley, which I like very, very much. And I doubt if this will be very visible on the screen, but across here on the Ultra Boost, very difficult to see, but in the prime knit, there's a line that runs right across here. I don't know, hopefully the light's catching that. And that's the quarter line. It's not very easy to see because it's stitched into the prime knit on an Ultra Boost. Uncaged in this case. But in the case of the NMD R1s thus far, there was actually a physical line that was like branded onto the sneaker. It was, there's a word for it, not sprayed on, but glued on. That's not the right word for it. But anyway, a line across the quarter of the sneaker that separates the sort of toe box from the midfoot of the sneaker. And that's totally gone in these guys. So it's kind of a signature of the NMD R1s, a subtle signature. But as far as I know, it's been on all of them. And also it says, and anything that I've had a look at is stretchy knit upper, which makes me think these are not going to be prime knits. So they're just going to be this sort of bog standard stretchy knit. Now, if they are that, then they're going to have a price point around about $140, $150, I expect. But putting that all together, that stretchy knit upper, the removal of the quarter line, to me, what these look like more than anything else in the upper is an NMD R2. Now, I'm the only person on the entire planet who likes NMD R2s. Nobody else likes them. I absolutely love them. I have 3 pairs that I wear regularly. I even wear a pair to work. I love them so much. And one of my pairs, like I said before, that my I have a pair of NMD R1s that are my kind of beaters. But I also have a pair of NMD R2s that are my beaters as well. They're grey. And then I have the black prime knit upper with the red outsole ones that I wear quite a lot. So those 3 are in heavy rotation. But I also have 2 on ice that are just sort of sitting there ready to go when I need them. So I have 5 pairs of NMD R2s in total. So I know what I'm talking about with the NMD R2s. And I do love them very much. And the upper on this, to me, it looks like that. It looks more like an NMD R2 than an NMD R1. So that's kind of to me, that's why I said at the start of this video, are these NMD R1s or not? Is because the upper, even though the midsole and the midsole, I mean the outsole's the same really on both of them, really. But even though the midsole has those bricks in there, which are definitely NMD R1 bricks because there's 3 of them, whereas on the NMD R2s there's only 1. These are kind of a mismatch to me. They've got that R1 midsole, but an R2 upper feel, if you're asking me. Now, there are 4 colorways dropping, and they have official names, and those official names are Orchid Tint, Cloud White, Core Black, and Ash Silver. I don't know if anybody needs to know that, but there you go. That's the actual official colorways of these 4 NMD R1 Mudguards that are dropping real soon. So if you're interested in that, I think it's October the 1st that you'll be able to get your hands on these guys. Okay, that's enough for me about the sneakers. Today's sneakers is that. And I am, yesterday in my video I did talk about an update on the butter movement and shoe butter. And what has been happening, here's the thing. So we're done with the sneaker. If you're only interested in the NMD R1, then you're done here. This is all about the butter movement, which was, well, let's face it, I mean, the greatest shoe tuber to ever grace the airwaves. At least maybe the greatest shoe collection. He says himself that is the greatest shoe collection in Asia, is what he says. But I don't know. I think he might be shortchanging himself, because shoe butter shoe collection is, well, there aren't that many that could equal it, let alone better it. So, but he was here in Japan a couple of weeks ago. And he did me the great favor of dropping by and spending some time with me. In fact, we had dinner 3 nights in a row, and it was great to see him. I hadn't seen him for, my goodness, now that I have to think about that, how long has it been since I saw shoe butter? I think 2016, so that's 3 years. It's been 3 years since I saw shoe butter, and it was great to see him and have him in town and to spend some time with him. And he was telling me, he was all excited by my channel. He didn't realize I'd kept it going, which I was like, whoa. We were eating sushi one night, my family and him, and I was I don't know, dropped a comment about the channel. It's like, you still have your channel? I was like, yeah. And I showed him on my phone, and I swear to goodness, he just laughed and smiled for like an hour. He just couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. And I think that's rekindled a little bit of the fire in him. It's like, you know what, it's been a couple of years since he's done his shoes, since he'd been doing content for YouTube and Instagram. And I think just maybe it's rekindled the fire. So over the next couple of days, I'll be giving you updates about shoe butter, about where the butter movement's going and whether we can bring that butter movement back, and any content that might be coming from shoe butter over the next few weeks and months as well. So definitely, if you're interested in the butter movement, and if you're interested in sneakers at all and seeing some of the rarest sneakers on the planet, stay tuned, because something big may just be coming real soon. Okay, it's time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. I do this every single day, which is a bit of a chore, but I don't mind doing it because I just love to talk about sneakers, and I really love to YouTube. So I'm going to keep doing it, but because I do this every single day, at the end of every one of my videos, I get to confidently say that I will definitely see you tomorrow.